So here we go. Canada last week was a. I mean, to be fair, it was a fantastic race. Some different strategies, which is always good to see, and one safety car, which was easy life really early on. Not overly sure what happened to you, buddy, but yeah, always a pain in the arse to see somebody go out so early on. Sort of all that practice and time goes into it to then be killed lap 1, lap 2, lap 3 or whatever. So, but first of all, it's probably going to come out backwards, but boom. This was a little number that was created for me by Smug. So any of you that have an iPhone, and I just used the word use, that's like ugh. But Smug will personally design you one, so using the DRS logo and then whatever picture it is you want, racing number, and then my picture that I use for my Discord to represent Jeff Hardy, obviously famous special moves, on bomb. There we go, you'll get that, I'm sure. But yeah, any of you guys that want something, and then also Sloth likes to try and do gamer pictures for people. So if you wanted to come up with something that you could have as your sort of image, by all means message Sloth. He's happy to do it. Obviously, as long as he's got a bit of time, he's happy to do it, and then try and create some pictures for people that can be used in the stream as well, especially on like the driver of the day. So, but anyway, we digress. So Canada, I'll go down the table standards as well, because I'm telling you that the final 3 races are going to be epic. But Canada saw Simon take victory, which is now his 3rd victory in the. You see the chin coming out. This is, I don't like saying this. This is really hard to say. Simon took his 3rd victory, and his second his second consecutive victory. I can't speak. I cannot speak. His second consecutive victory after his victory that he took in Miami. I then took 2nd. Boris actually finished 2nd on track, but time penalties caused him to basically slip down the table, which is always the case. Not saying that Boris always gets time penalties, but obviously time penalties always lead you to slip down the leaderboard. And then Brad Mason finished 3rd. Now, all the top 3 went for different strategies. I know a lot of other people did as well, but the top 3 all went on different strategies. So Brad went 2-stopper. He went for a set of mediums and then 2 sets of softs, which I actually thought was going to be the quicker strategy, and it probably was going to be, because I think he finished like under a second behind me. But traffic on this track is chaos and is a nightmare, and just completely screws up any chance that you've got of of making your strategy work. And that was very clear that that's what happened to Brad, because I think otherwise he would have been up there potentially taking me and also then chasing down Simon. I went for a set of mediums to lap 20 and then a set of softs for the final stint, which was 15 laps, whereas Simon chose to go for a set of hards for 18 laps and then changed to a set of mediums for the final set of final laps, 17 laps. Now, my strategy was coming in, because I wasn't as quick as Simon. Simon's a great driver at Canada. It's one of his favourite tracks. He always does really well at the street circuits, especially when there's walls inbound and stuff. So with just one wrong turn and that's it, you're out. So I was like, right, I'm not going to be as quick as him on the hards anyway, but the mediums I potentially have got the chance to stay there or thereabouts. And then he overtook me, and he actually thought, oh, I've got the hard tyre and I'm going to be ahead of him, that's great. But that was actually benefiting me, because I was on the medium tyres going as long as him, which he didn't know at the time, and using the DRS to stay within a second of him like every lap. What screwed me over was the fact that he pitted 2 laps early. So he tried the undercut on me. He pitted lap 18, so that meant I had 2 laps without DRS. I didn't also equate for Boris coming in and fighting me, which then caused me to have a bit of a delay. Then when I made my pit stop, Ronnie, who was up there and had a fantastic race, so fair play, Ronnie. Kudos to you, mate. Again, doing a really good job this season. It's a shame you've missed 3 races, because I think had you not have, you'd be up there. And I think next season is going to be a big season for you. But anyway, I had Ronnie and Boris after my pit stop as well to try and contend with, which slowed me down massively. So then when Simon was on the mediums and I was on the softs, I was catching him at a rate of knots. But I had them two. I also had King Kong that I had to pass. So the traffic proved to be a killer for me. So I only can imagine how that caused Brad Mason some issues, because just having 3 cars that I had to pass, which I was rapidly quicker than, because I was on a set of new softs. They were on, I think 1 was on hards and 2 were on mediums. And I'm telling you now, the grip that those softs had, especially for those first couple of laps that you've got them on, was insane. Like, I was going around corners and thinking, where are you going? Because, mate, I can put this car wherever I want. But it's Canada, it's difficult to overtake, and I like to conserve my ERS. I don't really like to use it that much. So, whereas people like to go, yeah, just spam it, get rid of it, gone. I'm kind of like, no, I'm going to save it for when I actually need it. So they were the top 3. And then I think Brad Mason would have definitely been up there. So Pro-Am, Ronnie, second win, and again had a race that was incredible. Had such a good race. I've already sort of mentioned you, but I really think that next season, this season is such a shame that you sort of missed 3 races, or missed 2 races and DNF'd in 1, because I think you would have been up there fighting with Miller without a shadow of a doubt. And Miller is kind of taking the Pro-Am by storm, yes, but no disrespect to the Pro-Am division at all, because I think Miller was a Pro-Am driver at the start, now a pro, but he's leaps and bounds above the majority of the Pro-Am drivers, because he's made the traction work, having no traction control. So therefore, he's got that pace that comes with that, and he's not making mistakes with it as well. Where sometimes you get to the traction, you make a mistake, that's it. Your race is kind of that's what makes you a Pro-Am driver, because you make those mistakes. But he's not making them, so he's kind of leaps and bounds above the other Pro-Am drivers at the moment. And I think Ronnie's getting there, but he's got to have that consistency. He's got to keep that, and he's got to turn up. Simple as that. I mean, you're a full-time driver and you don't turn up for Thursdays, so shows your commitment to the league. Yeah, cheers, mate. Miller, on his less, I wouldn't say it's his unfavourite track, but it's one of his less favoured tracks. Got P2, shows he's still a beast, still unreal, and I look forward to racing with him in the Pro Division next year, definitely. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I speak about Miller every single week, so I'm going to probably just call it there, Miller, because you get a lot of airtime. And then 50 Gent, boom, got his 4th podium. So well done, buddy. And again, I'm going to look at the tables in a minute, and you're going to be in and around that title fight, which is not the title fight, but you're going to be in and around a positional fight, which is going to be good. So it's good to see you back up there. Right, bear with me as I use my laptop, because I've left my mouse somewhere. So the Drivers' Championship, which ultimately is the one everybody wants, because the Drivers' Championship doesn't take into consideration Pro or Pro-Am. It takes in consideration where you finish. If you finish in the top 10, you get points. If you don't get any. Whereas in the Pro and Pro-Am, you can finish 15th, but if you're the 8th highest Pro or the 8th highest Pro-Am, you get the position that you would get points for 8th. So the Drivers' Championship is the one that everybody wants. That's the one where you've had a consistent season in the points regularly. That at the moment is being led by Simon on 156 points, and his only challenger for the remaining 3 races is myself on 154 points. So there is 2 points separating us going into the final 3 races, which we've got Singapore, we've got Imola, and we've got Brazil. So 2 points for that Drivers' Championship is awesome. This just shows how strong Miller's season has been. 3rd in the Drivers' Championship is Smug Git on 74 points. He's mathematically not going to get there now anyway. And you've then got Miller Vanilla, who is 4th on 54 points, 2 points ahead of Ben Lane, who's on 52, and 1 point ahead of Joker, who's on 51. And then I think, so that shows you're a pro driver. But then following that, so you've got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Mr. Pickles in 7th with 50. and Sloth's in behind him on 42. So I think Mr. Pickle and Sloth coming up have done a really good job to get in those points consistently and to outscore some of the other drivers that I thought would probably do really, really well. And also to be in and around Joker, who's an experienced pro Monday night racer. So well done, guys. Brilliant stuff. We move on to the Pro, which is the top tier. Just need to get this. Let me just move this over. This is going to be the best way for me to do it. So the Pro Championship has got a 15-point deficit at the top. Simon is currently in the lead with 168 points. And then you've got me behind him on 153 points, so 15 points behind him. Again, I think it's only going to be a 2-horse race for the Pro Championship. Smug is behind on 88 and Sloth on 64, who's outscoring Joker in the Pro tier, and joint with Mr. Pickle. So they're going to be looking to hunt down that third position of Smug Gip. But again, that 15 points deficit is, ideally you want to be, going into the last 3 races, you want to be less than 15 points deficit for the title. But it's we'll just see what I can do going into Singapore. I quite like Singapore, and then Imola's a track where could go either way. And then I think Brazil was a track that is one of my favourite tracks. It's actually one of my most successful tracks. I've said that on this video now, so obviously I'm going to crash out. Touch wood that doesn't happen. I don't like crashing. But yeah, 15 points deficit at the top, so we'll just see what can happen with that. But that battle for third is still there. You've got 88 points with Smug, 64 Sloth and Mr. Pickle, and 59 Joker. So there's 4 people in that battle there for that third place, which is going to be a really exciting finish. We go to the Pro-Am Championship. Come on, we all know what's going on there. It's still mathematically possible for Ronnie to take it, because there is a 59 point difference, but Miller's winning it on 179 and Ronnie is behind on 120. Ronnie's going to have an immense last 3 races and Miller's going to have to crash out. So I would say it's all but done, but even still, there's a battle there for second position with Ronnie, 50 Gen, Levi. That's a 3-way battle that you'd like to see for the championship, to be fair, because they've all got the ability to be winning the Pro-Am Championship. So that's going to be an epic battle going into the final 3 races. And I really think this Singapore race is going to be a big one, because I think this is what is going to really make those last 2 races, because I think you might see some shocks at Singapore. And then also just to bring up that little title fight that you've got at the bottom that's linked to the constructors, Ninja on 55 and Senna on 57, with Alnu just sitting above them on 60. So I think that battle between Ninja and Senna has been really good all season. It's adding to the title fight between myself and Simon as well, along with the AlphaTauris in the constructors. So it's really good to see, because they're helping out with those points where they can. So that's a really good battle going on there, the battle for last. Then we move over to the constructors. Now, this is looking an epic finish to the season. AlphaTauri on 235 points. 12 points behind them is Alfa Romeo on 223. 12 points behind them is the Mercedes, boom, at 211. And then 15 points behind them is the Alpine of Ronnie and Ben Lane. And then just a single point behind them is Red Bull. Now, I think Ferrari, Haas, McLaren, Aston are out of it, and the Williams, fortunately, they're out of it. But it's a five-way battle for the top. But I think it's a 5-way battle, but I think you've got a 3-horse race that are really, really in that contention. I think Alpine and Red Bull are going to be doing their own little battle. Don't get me wrong, a fantastic result brings them right into it, but I think the strength that AlphaTauri have got in Miller, and then the Alfa Romeos and Mercedes with myself and Simon up there. I think the Red Bulls and I think the Alpine and the Red Bull are probably going to be a little bit too far back. But I never say never. I mean, we're talking 15 points, 16 points it's ridiculous. Just to then get them up. Do you know what I mean? That's nothing really. That's if someone crashes out, someone has a really low finish. That's nothing. So the top three separate by 24 points. We need Miller to have a poor performance if myself and Alpha want to get up there, but we will see. That honestly, Singapore I think is going to be the race that is really going to set up the final two races, because I think Singapore is not going to be as straight cut as everybody thinks it's going to be. I'm hoping we don't see many DNFs. We never like a DNF at DRS, but to be honest, it might come. It's a fast track. It's a windy circuit. People are beginning to be thinking, right, I've got to go for it here now, and we've got to risk it all on the line, and that could be it. So, fingers crossed. We have a really good race in Singapore. I look forward to battling with you all, or I don't, because I don't want to really battle with you all, but I look forward to seeing the battles that you all have, because there's going to be battles up and down this circuit, 100%. I'm sure Blobby will catch it all. He always does a really good job at catching the majority of it. So, fingers crossed. Let's hand over to Smug for the Singapore Grand Prix, and I will see you all, boom, on track.
Good evening and welcome to round 9 of DRS season 6. So, Singapore, we've made it to the streets of Marina Bay. Circuit first used in 2008, and one of the challenging circuits, certainly on the real F1 calendar. So physical, so demanding with the weather, and that can be said same in the game. It is a demanding circuit. The walls are there, very similar to Monaco, but just a lot quicker, a lot more feisty. This track changed for this year. Loses four corners underneath the bridge. Makes the final sector much faster. Should create some good overtaking opportunities going into turns 17 and 18 before you get to that start and finish straight. In DRS, we've only had one race here so far, and it was a race that UJ dominated. Highlighted in our awards at the end of last year how good his race was here. Even with safety car, he still pulled out a large gap on the rest of the field. But it can go anyway. Anything could happen tonight. Big title fight, obviously, as we heard from Swanton, between him and Syme. Who's going to come out top? This could be a big turning point. Either of those have a bad race, championship can swing, or it can be closed off going into the final two races at Imola and in Brazil over the next 2 weeks before our Christmas break, where we will have 2 weeks off, reset the calendar, reset the grid, and reset the championship fight. So in Singapore, let's go through the track. So start and finish straight. Goes down to turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 in quick succession. Going straight through there. Difficult braking zone, particularly off the start. Cars everywhere. We've seen crashes in real F1 with the two Ferraris coming together in 2019, I think it was. Hopefully, we can all be sensible tonight and get through this first phase of the race without incident. We've had some brilliant starts recently with very little contact, very respectful. So let's see that again. But as soon as you're out of turn 3, you've got the first DRS detection zone leading into turn 5 and up this straight. It's got a bit of a kink in it. Straight that finishes off sector 1. Then you're into the very technical sector 2. 90-degree lefts, 90-degree rights, constantly throughout the sector. Challenging braking zones, challenging traction zones as well, where you're trying to avoid the walls, trying to maximise the lap time. Then you're going into the newly profiled sector 3, which now got right-hander, It's got a long straight, and then it's got a little kink at the end before the pit box and the start and finish straight. Sector 3 could be the new Sector 1, where people are lining up their overtaking moves. 3 DRS zones around here. So you've got Sector 1, then you've got one just at the end of Sector 2, and then you've got the start and finish straight. Start and finish straight won't really give you much. It'll get you close enough for Sector 1, but the other two in Sector 1 and Sector 2 are going to give you opportunities, providing you can get the traction out the corners and get clean alongside. So here at Marina Bay, on the calendar from 2008, 19 corners with those removed from the last sector. 31 laps we're going to be doing. It's going to be close to 50 minutes worth of racing without safety cars. So very challenging. Last time out, UJ, as I've mentioned, dominated. He took the fastest lap. I think he led pretty much every lap from the start. But then we had Boris Johnson in P2 and myself in P3. So the only one that's still currently on the grid permanently is myself. King Kong came up 5th after Joker in 4th, and then Simon was 6th. Can't remember if he had incidents in that race. Possibly. Don't think the safety car helped. But Simon P6 and Swanton in P10. So the 2 title challengers for this season didn't have a great race here last time. But hopefully that fight is going to carry on to the final race, and we're going to have a good one tonight. Another driver in the pros. So Ronnie didn't race here last time for us, and Miller Villa was in TSL last time we raced here. So it's an unknown how they're going to perform at the top of the Pro-Am table. But we never know what's going to happen. There will be safety cars potentially. There could be rain. Singapore, high humidity. There's always a chance of rain in the race. There's always a chance of a wet qualifying. So could throw that curveball in there. Current fastest lap last year, or in season 2, was UJ with 1:39.1. Now those that have been on time trial will already know we're into the 1:28s, 1:29s in time trial in low fuel. So I'd expect that time to just get annihilated tonight, providing it's not wet. So, challenging circuit. A circuit that I think most people enjoy though. It's such a satisfying circuit to drive. And it's one that can really, really show the men from the boys. If you can stay out of trouble, you don't do any stupid moves, don't put your car in a stupid place. It does reward you. But tonight, tyres. What tyres are going to be the best? What strategy is going to be the best? The undercut round here can be massive, but the traffic can be a killer, just like in Canada. The undercut was a good 2 seconds a lap quicker on fresh tyres. Can you maximise that? Can you get out in the right place when you pit so you can maximise that time and make up places? Or are you going to end up being stuck behind someone lap after lap because they defend and there's not that many overtaking opportunities? If you get the traction zones wrong, like I've already said, you ain't going to get alongside them. We don't want to see dive bombs. We don't want to see forcing the move up the inside. We need to be respectful, and we need to play it like we're driving a £40 million F1 car. You don't want to damage it. You don't want to crash. You want to finish the race. Right. I've not got any starts. Back in season 2, we didn't have commentary. We didn't have a stream. But I can tell you now, getting away well is a key. You're in the middle of the pack. You need to be sensible. because it closes up massively down to turn 1. So, without any more, let's head over to Blobby, who's all ready to commentate on round 9 of the DRS Championship, the Singapore Grand Prix.
And here we go, we've got the countdown coming in. Short quali, 31 lap race around this street circuit. And then we will be back here again on Thursday as well. Hello to Stacey in the chat. First comment. Around this street circuit. Hear my own voice because I haven't turned it down on the DRS stream. We are live on Dynamic Racing League UK as well as here on Blobby Butler. Evening to Cam in the chat. Don't forget, 10 PM, folks. We will be back on Blobby Monday with Baker Plays. And we are off to Qatar, which I've not practiced a lot, so that's going to be fun. But we'll see how that goes. But first we focus, as we are in the final 3 weeks of the season. We've got Singapore, and next week Imola, and the final race of the season at Brazil, just before the Christmas break. And a new season will start up again in January. As for Blobby Mondays, we'll be having a break for Christmas Day and New Year's Day. We will have a race on the 11th and 18th. And then the next one after that will be the 8th of January, completing our season in mid-February, where we'll have gone through all 26 races. And then the new season will be about 13 races, and that will bring us through to the release of F1 24. And we have rain in Singapore in qualifying. And this is going to put a spanner in the works. Very interesting. It looks like intermediate weather for now. Is it going to dry up? Is it going to get wetter? Who knows? Let's see who comes out first. If anyone is actually going to come out. At the moment, nobody. Here we go, here's somebody. And it looks like an Alpha Tauri. Hello to Webster in the chat. Looks like an Alpha Tauri that came out. And it is Colin. Colin always quick off the mark to get a lap in. Intermediate conditions here in Singapore for qualifying. Evening to Bazza in the DRS chat. Get your predictions in. Syme and Swanson just 2 points separating them at the top of the Drivers' Championship. Can anyone stop the charge of Miller Vanilla in the Pro-Ams? Is Ronnie going to have another stormer? How many of the 19 will finish? Get your predictions in, folks. And then, of course, get your predictions in as well for Blobby Mondays with Baker Plays over in Qatar. Well, we have another first-time winner. Will Noodles continue to close the gap on Baker Plays at the top? Can we continue towards the Constructors' Championship at Red Bull, where I'm definitely the Checo Perez to Noodles' Flying Dutchman? Here goes Colin on the first hot lap of the session. Getting a little bit crowded around behind Colin at turn 1 and 2 as the pit exit comes into play. Hopefully nobody gets impeded. Obviously, being the first lap of the session and on intermediates, I've got no idea what a good time will be, so we'll just have to wait and see. We will stay with Colin, as we traditionally do, the first lap of the session in terms of hot laps, and he's almost put it in the wall there. Definitely a bit to be careful at, that corner. And it was almost in the wall there from Colin. But here he goes, up towards the line, a 1:44.0 for Colin. Here's Brad Mason. We will go to championship leader Syme shortly. He is out on track at the moment. King Kong does a 1:45.3. So a second, nearly a second and a half behind Colin on that one. Brad's coming in now to
Time to up your game. At Currys, we've upped ours with the latest Lenovo gaming laptops with AMD Ryzen 7000 series processors. Like this Lenovo Legion Slim 5 laptop with this revolutionary Lenovo AI chip, now $1199. And save £350 on this incredible Lenovo Lock laptop, now $999. And you can play now, pay up to 12 months later on selected gaming tech. Going beyond tech expectations with legendary gaming gear at Currys.
Toy 2 Bubblegum, the fragrance from Moschino.
Easy Life and Senna in the 146s. This is Swanton, the title contender. And he's always clipped the wall. The same corner we saw Colin have a bit of a mistake in. Swanton clips the wall. Brad Mason in second at the moment, 1:43.6 for him. Senna's done a 1:44.0 and Roddy is out. 1:43.9 despite clipping the wall. Swanton takes it to P4. Senna up in P5, a 1:44.0. And now I think everybody's on in laps. Levi's not. Levi's pushing. And he's pushing too hard and into the wall again. We've seen 3 drivers already find contact with that wall. Definitely a danger hotspot, and Levi is abandoning this attempt as a result of that. Let's just keep an eye on Swanton, as he usually likes to double up his laps. Let's see how he does to the end of Sector 2. Whether he is on his way back in, or whether he's on his way to improve. We'll find out here at the end of this straight. Into that corner that's catching everybody out at the moment. He's 4/10 down, so I assume he'll be on his way back into the pits. So we will go and see Skippy as he is on to his hot lap. And has a little bit of traffic ahead of him. I think Skippy is cruising round, is he? Possibly not. There he goes. And it's a 147.5 for Skippy. As Ninjas starts his first hot lap. Smug is on the board, right up there in P5. I missed that one. The Red Bull, 143.8 for him. Miller Vanilla now in P3 with a 143.6. So looking rosy at the moment for AlphaTauri. As King Kong goes onto the board, 144.3. P10 for him, behind his teammate at the moment. Looking good for AlphaTauri, P3 and 4 at the moment. They are in a very tight constructors battle, and Ninjas here has invalidated. So we go to Mr. Pickles' Ferrari. And he's mistimed that corner a bit there. Easily done, especially in the rain here at Singapore. This is the corner that's been catching everybody out. Comes through that okay. Swanton up to P3. 143.1. Very close to Brad Mason's time. But Syme has managed half a second better at the moment. Here comes Mr. Pickle to the line. A 144.8 puts him P11 at the moment. Just 3 yet to set a time. Syme is back on track. Let's go and see him. The 10th down at the moment. There's a Mercedes has got off there. Not sure who that was, but right down into the escape road went a Mercedes. Up towards the line comes Syme. And improves 142.5 now. A slight improvement to the provisional pole time for Syme. Swanton coming into the pits. Smug is half a second up. He's just completed his lap. 143.3 for Smug puts him P4. Just missed the end of his lap there. Collins up on his time. The track must be improving. Condition-wise, it still looks like it's heavily raining. But there you go, Colin, 142.9. P2 for Colin at the moment. Here's Senna slightly improving. This session has absolutely flown by. We only have 4.5 minutes left. And with most drivers improving, it's still a very interesting time at the moment. Sloth has now gone up to P6. And Mr. Pickle is out. Out is Mr. Pickle. Mr. Pickle and Ronnie will not be getting better than P10 and P11 as they are both out. Here comes Senna towards the last corner and may invalidate there, and does. It's an invalidate for Senna, and that would have put him up a couple of places. Easy Life down on his time. Levi just completed a lap. 1:44.2 for him. Skippy is 6/10 up. Here comes Skippy around the last corner. And a 1:44.5 puts him up just to 15th at the moment. And we've lost Colin. Here is Brad. That might cost Colin a final chance in the last 2.5 minutes or so of the session. Let's see how Brad does. Colin's back in, so he may be able to get back out in time. Long lap here, of course. Let's see how Brad's doing through sector 2. He's 2 seconds down. Swanton 1:43.1 has him in 4th place. He likes to double stack his laps, so let's stay with him. Let's see what he does through this one. Still no lap for Al Newt, Joker and Ninjas. Unless they've got a quali ban I've not been told about. Possible. 2 drivers with quali bans later on this evening. That is Soline's Aston Martin and Baker, the championship leader in the Alpine. Accrued enough penalty points for that qualifying ban. As we go to Qatar. They actually missed just then how Swanton's lap was going, so we'll just stay with him to the conclusion of it. He's not going to have time for another one if he pits. Here he comes around the last corner. Swanton goes pole! 1:42.4 Swanton. So this run now for Sim is all important. 30 seconds left in the session. We have got a Haas just coming around the last corner. That is Brad Mason, and that is pole position. 1:42.1. Brad Mason onto provisional pole. Back to Sim. Al Newton Joker have not set times, nor has Ninjas, but he is on track. Checkered flag is out and Sim's in the wall, and that's going to be his attempt over with. Is Swanton going to be on for another one? Let's see. He is very, very close, but he's in the wall. He's in the wall. That corner catching everybody out at the moment. Smug is half a second up, and he could be climbing into the top 4. Sainsy, P4. What a lap from him. 1:42.8 for Sainsy. Here comes Smug. Smug's invalidated. Smug has invalidated. Levi is a 10th down. Ninjas is going to set a time. Is he not? Maybe just. 148 for Ninjas, P17 for him. Levi slightly down on his time. So it looks like Brad has taken pole right at the death. Crucially for the championship, Swanton P2 and Syme in P3. But look at that, Sainsey P4. Fantastic from the Pro-Am driver as Levi does not improve, and that brings qualifying to an end. So there you have it. Brad Mason, pole position for Haas. Swanton in the Mercedes is second with Syme and Sainsey on row 2. Colin and Smug share the third row from Miller Vanilla and King Kong. Sloth and Senna in the top 10. Ronnie down in 11th from Mr. Pickle in 12th. Those two both crashed out. Then it was Levi. Easy Life, then Levi, sorry. Skippy, 50 Gent, Ninjas, and then not setting a time were Al Newt and Joker. Very interesting qualifying indeed, Cap. 31 lap race. What's the weather going to do? You'll find out first here, then we'll have a bit of a pause so drivers can do their strategies and fuel loads. We'll go through those championship standings once again. Because it is very, very tight and there's a lot to play for in these final 3 races. We look like we have dry weather. We will now wait and just see the pit lane. If you're watching on the DRS stream, you will see the standings where it is very, very close. I'm going to tell you about them so you're not missing out if you're watching on mine. So, let me find them. Monday Night Championship. Here we are. The Drivers' Championship standings: Syme 156, Swanton 154. 2 points in it. They have got more than double anybody else. Still some battles further down the field. Smug is nicely clear in third from Miller Vanilla, Ben Lane, Joker, Mr. Pickle, all in the chasing pack. The pro standing, slightly different to the overall. Syme has a 15-point lead on Swanton. Again, Smug is too far back to challenge for second and probably comfortable in third. Sloth, Mr. Pickle, Joker, Ben Lane and Colin all in the chasing pack. For the Pro-Am, Miller Vanilla, 59-point lead over Ronnie. Ronnie then 12 ahead of 50 Gent, who's 14 ahead of Levi. Then it's Skippy, Sainsey and Easy Life from Al Newt, Senna and Ninjas. And maybe the most interesting of all, the Constructors' Championship. Alpha Tauri 235 points, Alfa Romeo 223, Mercedes 211, Alpine 196, Red Bull 195. Competitive all the way through. Ferrari 158, Haas 143, McLaren 137, Aston Martin 134, and Williams with work to do to avoid the wooden spoon on 122. That is you bang up to date as we come into round 10 of this 12 race season. Singapore, Imola and Brazil remain. Syme and Swanton with 2 championships to battle for. The constructors could go anywhere. At the moment, Miller Vanilla is doing most of the legwork to take AlphaTauri towards that title. He is clear in the Pro-Ams as we come to the formation lap, where we will see the tyre choices and another mix of opinion here, but not amongst the top 5. All on hard tyres are Brad, Swanton, Syme, Sainsey and Colin. Then a couple of mediums, Smug in the Red Bull, and the second of the AlphaTauris, Miller Vanilla, the championship leader of the Pro-Am. Then King Kong, Sloth, Senna and Ronnie all on hard tyres. Further back down the field, a bit more of a risk, I guess. For Mr. Pickle, Easy Life both on the mediums. Levi is on the hards. Then it's Skippy, 50 Gent and Ninjas all on mediums. Al Newt starts on hards. And Joker, last of all, is the only one to start on soft tyres. So you can see the grid, you can see the tyre choices. Get your predictions into the chat. Let's hear your 1, 2, 3s. And let's hear your prediction for number of finishers. Is it going to be a clean race, or are we going to see safety cars and carnage? What will happen? Stay tuned to find out. We're going to bring you as much of the action as we possibly can with only one camera view that the game gives us. We'll try to keep with all the battles and all the incidents over this 31 lap race. As they now come to the grid to park. Couple more to see at the back. Looks like we're going cockpit view. Or maybe we'll go front on view. It's front on view. It's 5 lights. Out they go and away we go. And Swanton is going to get to the inside, is he? No, he isn't. Has to cover off Syme. Trouble at the back as Sloth, I think he's off. Sloth has dropped right to the back of the field. Joker's had an incredible start. From the back of the field, Joker is up to P12 already. And he's now going after his teammate. And almost squashed against the wall there was Sloth. Was Joker, and he's hit his teammate. Easy Life got nudged there by Joker, who now makes a move on 50 Gent. He is up to 13th. We go to the front with Brad Mason, who has got away well from Swanton. Then it's Syme, Colin and Sainsey. Miller Vanilla up to 6th from Ronnie. Smug. A Ferrari getting involved there was Mr. Pickle. Colin getting close to the back of Syme there as Joker passes Easy Life. And he is up to P12 already. The soft tyres proving quite a good option for Joker to start this race. Smug passing Ronnie, and is Ronnie in the pits? He is. That's why Ronnie was losing positions. Ronnie to the back of the field in the pit lane. And that promotes Joker up to 11th. So Brad's got a second and a half on Swanton already. Half a second back to Syme, who's got Colin closing in on him. They've gapped away from Sainsy, who's got Miller Vanilla for company. Apologies, just got a text message telling me my horse won. Excellent stuff. Senna chasing Joker. Chased by Joker. And off goes Joker. Joker ran really deep there and lost a position to Easy Life. May have damaged his wing. Syme is closing right in now on Swanton, with Colin just behind. Miller Vanilla right behind Sainsy. And Senna close to Mr. Pickle as they start to settle down now on lap 2 of 31. And Brad's pace looks very strong, though Syme is quicker on that lap. Smug even quicker. Mr. Pickle's lost some places, he's in the pits. So that's Senna up to 9th. And Easy Life into the top 10 ahead of Joker after that mistake that we just saw the end result of. Skippy passing 50 Gent for P12 there. Smug now catching this battle between Miller Vanilla and Sainsy. Sainsy just dropping off the top 4 at the moment. Swanton has closed the gap now a little to Brad. But Syme is really closing in on him and looking for a move round the outside. Round the outside. The title challenge right in front of our eyes. And Syme overtakes Swanton for P2. Senna has been disconnected. That's a shame. He's running well in 9th at the moment. Don't think I've got him added, so I can't get him back in. Easy Life picks up the first of what will be a few time penalties for track limits in this race. Not just for him, I mean overall. Hopefully someone will be able to get Senna back in, as Skippy is making moves. He's passing Joker, and up to P11 goes Skippy. Good stuff from the Hash driver, trying to make his way up towards the top 10. Smug and Miller Vanilla right in behind Sainsy now. Ronnie sets the fastest lap of the race from the back of the field after his early pit stop. Colin now catching Swanton as well. Easy Life will go past Senna's Ghost. Unfortunate for Senna. The disconnect coming just at the wrong time for him, and he drops out of the top 10. Easy Life and then Skippy going past just as Senna rejoins. He's going to have lost 3 or 4 places there, unfortunately, as everyone concertinas round very close together still at the back of the field. Back towards the front, Colin is closing in on Swanton. Senna now drops to 14th. Hopefully he can get back in his car, but it's been a costly disconnect for him. In fact, he's still dropping positions. Down to 15th place now. Sainsy from Miller from Smug is the battle you see here for 5, 6 and 7. Bit of DRS help for Smug and for Miller, and Smug's going to make the move on Miller, and up to P6 goes Smug. Good move for the Red Bull, and he'll now try and get after Sainsy, who has dropped away from the top 4.
Toy 2 Bubblegum, the fragrance from Moschino.
These are our dreams.
Last place where he started, so kind of negating the hard work. Close again to Swanton. Smug closing in on Sainsy also. Is Colin going to move this time? No, he isn't. Still too far back. Very difficult track to overtake on. We are still with our full complement of 19 drivers, and we are on lap 7 of 31, and at the moment it's going well for Syme. Even though he's not leading, he's ahead of his main rival. Smug still cannot get close enough to make a move on Sainsy. 50 Gent and Al Newt trying to get to Easy Life, and a bit of a wobble there from Al Newt in the background. That might invite Senna to come and challenge him a bit. And round the outside, great move by 50 Gent. 50 Gent round the outside of Easy Life and up into P10. So the Pro-Am podium at the moment, Sainsy from Miller Vanilla and Skippy. Skippy having a good race so far. He is in P9. Senna passes Al Newt and up into P12. But Al Newt's going to run this back at him. Didn't have a good exit there, Senna, and that cost him the place. Colin again getting close, but not close enough to the back of Swanton. Smug getting closer than he has been to the back of Sainsy. Smug still going for it. Ronnie picks up a time penalty. Swanson has managed to avoid the advances of Colin for a little while now and has gapped him by a second. Syme is still chasing Brad quite closely, and with DRS want to keep an eye on Smug chasing Sainsey. I don't think the DRS straight is quite long enough. Certainly that corner a bit less hazardous in the dry conditions than it was in qualifying, where it caught a number of drivers out. Al Newt, Senna both chasing Easy Life now, and Al Newt could be looking for a move here, and up into P11 goes Al Newt. Senna will hope to follow him through. Easy Life down to P12 on that one. Levi not quite within DRS range behind that battle. Smug again still managing, still half a second. Sainsey managing to keep him behind. Al Newt has passed Easy Life, as you saw. Syme remains around half a second behind Brad, who is driving a very good race so far on lap 9 of 31. And is that rain? It is. It's rain. There's rain. Folks, there is rain. We are on lap 10 and there is rain. And this could throw a spanner in the works. Rain here in Singapore. And this could go very, very dangerous. Very, very quickly. 50 Gent past it. Skippy's in the pits. Skippy's in the pits. He might be the first one onto intermediates here. It is a set of intermediate tyres for Skippy. He's taken the early gamble. Mr. Pickle is also in. Skippy was in P9, remember. He was having a terrific race. Has this gamble paid off for the Haas? We shall see. He obviously drops now to 18th, but should the rain continue, then everybody else is going to have to pit as well. Ronnie and Joker battling away right at the back of the field. Side by side. Ronnie with DRS stays ahead of Joker. A bit of a nudge by Joker, I think, on Ronnie there. And Ronnie will edge him out through this corner. Shot into the wall! Into the wall! Into the wall goes Ronnie! And Joker straight up the back of him. And there we have a big incident. I'm surprised there's not been a safety car called for that, because they were stopped on track. Into the pits comes Brad Mason and Simon, Swanson and Colin. The top four all into the pits, and we do have a safety car. We have got a safety car, so everybody's going to get in the pits. And this is going to hurt Skippy, I think, more than anybody. Miller maybe with the double stack problem. No, he's okay. King Kong might have the same issue. He's okay. 50 Gent just making it into the pits now. And Levi. Sloth and Senna are in. Here's Ninjas coming in. And into the wall goes Ninjas! Ninjas is in the pit wall! Out of the race! Out of the race! Easy Life picks up a penalty. Everybody's going to be in here. Skippy has got back to P9. So it did not harm Skippy to come in a lap early. Quite pleased about that, actually, because he's having an excellent race. And Ninjas is our first DNF casualty, and we saw him. He just lost it coming into the pits and hit the pit wall. So easy to do on dry tyres when it starts raining. And now everybody is back out on track on intermediate tyres. This has not gone well for those who pitted very early. Mr. Pickle, Joker and Ronnie amongst those. But at the front, there's no change. It's Brad, Syme, Swanson, Colin, Sainsy, Smug, Miller. Then King Kong in 8th and Skippy stays in 9th. Levi has climbed a few positions up into the top 10. He's ahead of Sloth. Then it's 50 Gent, Senna, Mr. Pickle and Al Newt. Easy Life's dropped a few, down to 16th ahead of his teammate Joker. And Ronnie is in last. So there we go. Just a bit of weather-related excitement there, briefly. And now we'll have a nice couple of laps cool down to let the field bunch up under the safety car. Nobody really gaining an advantage from the safety car coming out. I'm not sure actually what did cause the safety car to be called, because it was already out by the time Ninjas DNF'd. So I may have missed something. It was not in the immediate aftermath of Joker and Ronnie's incident. So something else may have happened on track, or maybe the modern day F1 weatherman called the safety car out because of a bit of rain, as you know the FIA love to do. In real life, of course, more likely to be a red flag, as we saw in Spa a couple of years ago, where we didn't actually get a race. Safety car on the track then, as you can see. Brad Mason, the leader in the Haas. Syme and Swanton, the title contenders, 2nd and 3rd. Colin up there in 4th, doing a great job for AlphaTauri's Constructors' Championship bid. Sainsy, driving a Stormer at the moment, leading the Pro-Ams, 5th overall. Then it's Smug in 6th for Red Bull. Miller Vanilla, even when you don't think Miller's having a great race, he's still on the podium of the Pro-Ams. He is in P7. King Kong's 8th. Skippy P9 for Haas. Podium position for the Pro-Ams. And then Levi. Good evening to Blockimus in the chat. We are under the safety car, and everyone's just changed to intermediates from dries. So an interesting race here so far. Just the one DNF out of 19. And we just have a little calm period of a couple of laps of safety car. Let's see who has the fastest lap. If I go to the right one, let's do that. Let's see the fastest lap first. Joker currently holds the fastest lap, and it doesn't look like it's going to get beat with this rain. The position changes then. On for driver of the day is Skippy at the moment. He's up 6. Levi and 50 Gent are up 4. Al Newt up 3. Joker up 2. Syme's up 1 and Colin's up 1. Down 1 are Swanton and Sainsey. Down 2, Sloth, Mr. Pickle. Down 3 are Senna and Easy Life. And down 7 is Ronnie, who's not having the best of evenings here. But of course, the field backed up. Everybody bunched together. Anything can happen. Still not even halfway through this race. We'll put you back on tyre, even though we know everybody is on inters. We might need that for later. Surely the safety car will be exiting scene at the end of this lap. Should get a notification just about now that the safety car will be in. And there it is. So Brad will dictate the pace now. Brad's left it very late to go, but there he goes. And makes it down to turn 1 with no problems. In fact, everybody's made it through without any overtakes through that first couple of corners. Just shows how difficult it is down in Singapore on the street track to make any moves. No DRS, of course, for 3 laps, and with this rain, probably longer. Joker passes Easy Life at the back, and Skippy going past King Kong, and that's up to P8. And King Kong's got a problem because he's lost lots of places. King Kong's pulled to the side of the road here and was ghosting, and he's dropped right to the back. So obviously a problem for King Kong there. Senna and Mr. Pickle side by side. Senna and Al Newt, side by side. Joker trying to go around the inside on the tightest corner on the track and made it stick. What a move. Al Newt trying to fight it back. Ronnie's in there as well, side by side with Al Newt. This could end badly. Good driving by everyone involved. And Ronnie and Al Newt are still side by side. And did Ronnie brush the wall there? Quite possibly. Easy Life got a bit out of shape in behind, and King Kong is going to take a place back. And does. All the action then towards the rear of the field at the moment. Miller trying to get to Smug. Easy Life and King Kong scrapping once again. Ronnie picks up another time penalty. That's his second one. Miller looking for a move maybe. Not quite. Bit of a nudge. Bit of a nudge on Smug, almost caught Skippy out. And up the inside goes Levi on Skippy. But can he make it stick? No is the answer. Sloth looking to get involved as well. Levi in a drag race with Skippy. Levi up to P8. Skippy down to 9th. Sloth, then Mr. Pickles past 50 Gent. That was all caused by Miller going a bit deep and almost into the rear of Smug. And Skippy had to take action. And he's lost the place. Miller Vanilla now does get Smug for P6. And he'll hope to get after Sainsy. Colin closing right in. Going up the inside of Swanton. Senna's gone off. Senna's gone off at the back. Colin couldn't quite get the move done on Swanton. All action after a safety car restart as always. Smug picks up a time penalty. Joker's lost a couple of places there. In fact, Joker's going into the pit lane. Joker into the pits and King Kong into the pits. And Senna also. He must have damage, he does. So Senna into the pits as well. 4 wets for Joker. Joker is going for 4 wet tyres. As is Senna. The rain, as you can see, is absolutely bucketing down. So maybe the gamble is on here. King Kong's come out on a new set of inters. So let's see how this plays out. Colin still trying to close on Swanton. Levi has closed up to Smug now in 4P7. Smug seems to be struggling a bit with the conditions. And Levi is right on his tail, followed by Skippy and Sloth. Mr. Pickle and 50 Gent also there. Now let's see how Joker and Senna do in the next few laps compared to those around them. Mr. Pickle has gone off. Off goes Mr. Pickle. He's broken his front wing. And he's now fallen down the order and will now have to pit. Colin finally, no, he doesn't get Swanton because Swanton's pitting. Joker has got a drive through. And we've got a safety car. Has Swanton just timed this pit stop to absolute perfection? Smug and Skippy are in. The rear of the field are in. Mr. Pickle picks up a penalty. And Joker is out. Joker has crashed out. But everybody's going for wet tyres now. But has Swanton just completed an absolute genius move here? Because he's pitted a lap before everybody else. And they're stuck behind the safety car. So surely now he can go past everyone as they pit. Can he? Let's see. Will the Delta hold him up too much? Let's see. Easy Life has continued. He's in P8. Everyone else has pitted. 50 Gent has come back on inters rather than wets. Skippy, P10, he has pitted early. He's managed to get out ahead of Smug as well. So now when the leaders pit, where will Swanton be? He's going to be close enough. Ronnie's out of the race. Ronnie is out. There's his car. Ronnie is out. Swanton's going to take the lead here, surely. If everyone pits, which I assume they will, Swanton is going to do it. Is everyone pitting? Colin has not. Colin's staying out. Levi's staying out. Swanton goes into third. Brad, Simon, Sainsy, Miller, Sloth and Easy Life all pit. How many is Skippy going to get of these? Skippy's got all of them. Skippy's up to P4, Smug P5. What a shake-up. Brad is now into P6, and it looks like the rain's slowing down. Maybe. Maybe not. No, I doubt it. So Colin and Levi have stayed out on the inters. Colin leads, Levi is up to second. But if they do have to pit, or if the inters can't take it, Swanton suddenly is the race leader. And Skippy is in P2. Smug also timed it well and is up to P5 with Al Newt as well in front of the previous leaders. What a shake-up this is. So Levi is now Pro-Am leader from Skippy and Al Newt. That's dropped Sainsey and Miller Vanilla off the Pro-Am podium for now. 50 Gent pitted and took another set of inters. He's in 13th. Colin and Levi on the inters. Are they going to stay on the inters? What a thrilling interchange here for the weather. You can see clear puddles now on the track. This is getting to the stage where the real life red flag would be out. Thankfully, the game is a bit more liberal with safety. And we can carry on here. We're now on lap 18 of 31. We've lost 3 of our 19. Ronnie, Joker and Ninjas are out of the race. Is 50 Gent going to come into the pits? He is not. Neither of the front two. We have another lap of safety car as Senna catches the field. And King Kong's miles behind the field. I think he pitted twice. Or in fact, he's broken his front wing again, King Kong. Hello to Jonathan in the chat. Looking forward to hopefully not this weather condition in the desert in Qatar. Later, and into the wall goes King Kong and out of the race. King Kong, our 4th casualty of the evening, out of the race. I'm very much hoping it's dry, as I've not driven a single lap in Qatar in the rain ever. So yep, that thing practiced that I never have any time for, mainly because I do more commentating than racing, but there you go. Probably better at that, so it's alright. But yep, I will see you at 10 PM over in Qatar. Don't forget, it's Blobby Mondays with Baker Plays. Do go and follow Baker as well. Kick.com/Baker Plays with a Z at the end. And come and join us for social play races on Friday and Saturday night. Safety car in this lap. Colin will lead the field round. Blockimus also doesn't fancy a wet Qatar. I don't know if having it on random weather takes into account the fact that the places are in the desert. I mean, it didn't give us a wet Bahrain or Saudi, so who knows? Still got Abu Dhabi to come as well, of course. The weather is on random, so Colin leads them in then. Swanton getting those wet tyres warmed up as best he can, but maybe an attack on Levi. We're back racing again. Swanton already having a look. Thinks better of it. But let's see how the Inters hold up against the wet runners now. Colin leads from Levi, Swanton, Skippy, Smug, Al Newt. I expect some overtaking to be done on this lap as the field has kind of been shaken up and maybe the quickest drivers aren't at the front anymore. And there goes Swanton up to P2 ahead of Levi. Levi's going to try and keep it in. Swanton just manages to get it round.
Time to up your game. At Curry's, we've upped ours with the latest Lenovo gaming laptops with AMD Ryzen 7000 series processors. Like this Lenovo Legion Slim 5 laptop with this revolutionary Lenovo AI chip, now 1199. And save £350 on this incredible Lenovo Lock laptop, now $999. And you can play now, pay up to 12 months later on selected gaming tech. Going beyond expectations with legendary gaming gear at Curry's.
Game on, punch off. Download now.
These are our dreams.
Just hold it up. Just, oh, yeah, looking good.
Mr. Pickles picked up a time penalty after going off. Syme, Easy Life and Sloth are into the pits. And Syme's out of the points altogether now. He's back on intermediates. So back to inters. The rain is slowing. Brad is going to go up the inside of Skippy. No team orders at Haas. Levi just staying ahead of Al Newt and Sainsey. And Swanton for now stays behind Colin. Bit of a gap to Smug. Then it's Skippy who's got Brad right all over him. As we said, no team orders at Haas for sure. Skippy certainly not moving aside. Levi, then Al Newt, Sainsey, Miller Vanilla, 50 Gent. They're all concertinaed up. Swanton looking for a move. Brad finally passes Skippy. Swanton going for the lead. Side by side again with Colin. Oh, contact! And Colin's lost the place. Swanton might have to give that one back. Smug's now up to second. And we've got a safety car. Safety car. And oh no, Skippy! Skippy, damage. Oh, what a shame. What a shame for Skippy. What a race he was having. And another safety car will bring Syme back into it. In fact, Syme looked like he'd lost his front wing as well, but it was just because it was the dark colour. But that'll bring Syme right back into it. And now what do? Do they stay on wets or do they go for inters? We're on lap 22 of 31. The safety car is out once again, and the order has been thrown up in the air once again. Skippy is going to rejoin in 11th place ahead of Syme. But what a shame for him. He's been driving an absolutely fantastic race. Sloth and Mr. Pickle are in at the back. And it's inters for both of them. What happens here? Because Swanton and Smug are on wets. Colin's on old inters. Brad's on wets, Levi's on old inters. Then Al Newt, Miller Vanilla, Sainsy all on wets. 50 Gent and Skippy on the newer set of inters. Centre in between them. Then Syme, Easy Life, Sloth and Mr. Pickle all on new inters. So outside the top 10, they've all got new inters on. We're going to see who pits and who twists and who sticks here, to use a pontoon reference. Looks like Smug looked like he was going to pit but did not. Brad is pitting. Brad pits. Brad Pitt, very good. Sainsy pits as well. Completely accidental there, Brad pits, but there you go. No pun intended. So Brad drops down and Sainsy drops down, but they will be on the new inters. Syme is back into the top 10 now. Levi, Al Newt and Miller Vanilla are your front three of the Pro-Ams in 4, 5 and 6 from 50 Gent, Senna, Skippy. So at the moment we've got 6 Pro-Ams in the top 10. Swanson your leader. Smug is in second but does have a penalty. Then Colin and Levi, who've stayed on the inters since the first safety car when everyone pitted. Some have gone wet. Inters, then wets, then inters. So now is the inter again the tyre of choice, and this time are Swanton and Smug sitting ducks at the front. So much to unpick, and still quite a chunk of the race left to do it in. This is lap 23 of 31. We've still got Mr. Pickle and Sloth yet to catch the field, so I don't think we're going to see the safety car in this lap. Indeed, we're going to have another lap of safety car then. Sloth and Mr. Pickle, as you can see, still about 9 seconds or so back from the field, but closing that down very quickly. Sloth, in fact, will catch up now. Mr. Pickle comes round and will do so towards the very beginning of the next lap, if not before. So 15 of 19 still running, and Senna is Senna into the pits. He is. Senna pits. And Senna is going back to intermediates. That promotes Syme to P9 and Easy Life up into the top 10. Brad now will look to try and make moves from P11. And Mercedes are first and last. So it's not quite sprint race finish time. I suppose it is. 25, so 7 laps left. So 7 lap sprint race, still with the difference in tyres. So I suppose the questions are, Is it going to stay wet enough for the wet tyres? Are the Inters going to do the 20 laps required? Or are those who pitted going to come through the field? Of course, more difficult here because it's difficult to overtake. Is this the safety car's last involvement? So many questions. The safety car is in this lap, and Swanton now takes over the pacing of the field. The top 10, Swanton, Smug, Colin, Levi, Al Newt, Miller Vanilla, 50 Gent, Skippy, Syme and Easy Life. Then Brad, Sainsey, Sloth, Mr. Pickle and Senna. Swanton will look to steal a march. Smug got backed into Colin a little bit. Further back, 50 Gent making the move on Miller Vanilla. Up the inside. Miller Vanilla forced wide and he's lost 3 places. A bad restart for Miller Vanilla and he's gone right the way down to 11th. Brad's up to 9th already. And Sainsey. But an awful restart for Miller Vanilla. 50 Gents going for Al Newt now. Miller Vanilla's fallen all the way to last. Bunny's Vengeance tipping Swanton to win it, even against the fresher tyres. Syme up a place. Sainsey has gone off. Syme past Skippy. And Brad's right there with Skippy. And a bit of ghosting. And Skippy's lost a place. I think there was a bit of a glitch there. Mr. Pickle passes Easy Life. Again, I'm struggling to keep up. Brad is up to 8th and Syme is up to 7th. Those two charging through the field. Skippy's going a bit glitchy. I think that may have been with King Kong leaving the session. Colin goes up to 2nd ahead of Smug, who's not had a good exit there, and Levi is going to go round his outside. Levi up to 3rd. Brad going for Al Newt now. And Smug went wide and has lost many places here. And Smug's going into the pits. The wet tyre not working for him. Al Newt's picked up a penalty. They're 3 wide. The 2 Hasses. Contact and into the wall goes Al Newt. Into the wall goes Al Newt. They were 3 wide. The 2 Hasses. And one of them hit Al Newt. And Al Newt's into the wall. And we've got a safety car. Massive accident on the main straight. And now what? And now what? Smug and Miller are in the pits. Swanton has retained the lead, but is going to have to do it all again. Syme and Brad have scythed through the field to P5 and 6. I'm not sure which hat it was that hit Al Newt, resulting in him ending in the wall. Whether it was Brad or Skippy, as they were both side by side with the Williams. But Brad's up to 6th, Skippy's back up to 7th, which is enough at the moment for a podium on the Pro-Am. Mr. Pickle's now 8th, he was at the back of the field. Easy Life is 9th and Sloth is in 10th. Senna, Sainsey, Smug and Miller make up the field, but at the moment Levi is your Pro-Am leader ahead of 50 Gent, and it could be a double podium for Levi as he's currently P3 overall. But Syme and Brad will be very dangerous on the restart on fresher tyres. Colin and Levi, don't forget their tyres are the oldest. Barney reckons it's now going to be very hard for Swanton. Looks to be drying up. Come on, Colin on the dying tyres. Still has some pace. In fact, into the pits comes Swanton. Swanton pits. And from looking like the possible race winner, Swanton is now going to drop out of the points completely. He's going on dries. Swanton's going for dry tyres. What a gamble this is. Surely not. It's still raining. Unbelievable gamble here for Swanton. He is going to come out just in front of Smug. And I'm not sure if Swanton's going to be able to catch the field here. Smug almost went up his backside. Swanton's doing his best to warm these tyres and get moving. But at the moment, the gap is increasing between Swanton and the field. And with only a small number of laps left, this could backfire big time for Swanton and cost Smug and Miller being held up, because the safety car has been known to just throw it in early when it's towards the end of the race. Let's keep an eye on this. He is now closing the gap slightly. Safety car's gone past the marker that it usually will tell us that it's in. Swanton's still got 11 seconds to find on the field. Mr. Pickle and Skippy are swapping places for some reason there. Swanton's still 10 seconds to find, but he's got a straight to help him now. And he should be able to get there by the end of the lap, if he doesn't decide that these softs were a bad idea and pit again. Let's see. He's going through with it. Sainzy's into the pits. And maybe Sainzy's got the same idea here. He has! Sainzy's into the pits for dry tyres. This is unbelievable at the moment. At the moment, we've got 2 Pro-Ams for double podiums, Levi and 50 Gent. Colin is the leader. Syme has been from front to back to nearly front again. He's 4th. Brad has done similar. He's in 5th, ahead of his teammate Skippy, who's been in the wars but has driven a great race and deserves a Pro-Am podium, in my opinion. Mr. Pickle is 7th from Easy Life in 8th. They both have penalties. Then Sloth, and now in the top 10 is Senna. And will there be some team orders going on at Mercedes to tell Senna to get out of Swanton's way, I wonder? Because Swanton's got a championship to fight for, and he was in a great position, and now it's going to be a 3-lap sprint race if the safety car is indeed in this lap, because Sainsy hasn't caught the field yet. He's crossed that marker and we've not seen a signal, so this could be a 2-lap sprint race. Sainzy's not up with the field yet. It is in this lap. It's a very late call, but the safety car is in this lap. It's going to be a 3-lap sprint race to the finish here. Colin leads the way from Levi, 50, Syme and Brad. King Kong in the chat saying how bad he was today. These things do happen. Mr. Pickle passes Skippy off the restart, and Smug passes Swanton. And Swanton's having a wobble. Mr. Vanilla's got him as well, and the soft tyres are not proving the way to go at all. What can Syme and Brad do here? Can they get back onto the podium? Brad looking for a move on Syme. Wide there was a Williams. That's Sloth. Passed by Senna. Brad's all over the back of Syme. And Mr. Pickle's getting involved with them as well now. Mr. Pickle goes for a move on Brad. Didn't get it done. Sloth is off. Off goes Sloth. Sloth drops to the back of the field. 50 Gent closes on Levi. Doesn't quite get the move up the inside. He's got to watch out. He's got Syme right behind him. Brad's dropped a little bit back after that almost collision with Mr. Pickle. Syme now into P3. Back onto the podium goes Syme. Taking 50 Gent. And now Syme will try and get after Levi. 2 laps to go. Easy Life picks up another penalty. Those are going to cost him. Probably cost him points. Mr. Pickle still harassing Brad. Sloth passes Sainsey. The soft tyre's not doing it. Sainsey picks up a penalty as well. The gamble not paying off. Brad passing 50 Gent. And up to P4 goes Brad ahead of 50. Smug into the top 10 ahead of Miller Vanilla. Syme and Brad, can they get it done? Can they get a move on Levi and get after Colin? Up the inside goes Mr. Pickle on 50 Gent for P5. A thrilling finish here in Singapore. The podium place is up for grabs. Syme looking to extend his lead over Swanton. Here he goes up the inside of Levi. There it is. P2 for Syme. And Brad's going to go through into P3. And Levi might just move aside for Mr. Pickle here. And try and preserve his Pro-Am win. Mr. Pickle, of course, has a penalty anyway. So Levi, if he can hang on 20 lap old tyres, then he will get a double podium. But 50 Gent is right on his case. It's the final lap. Brad looking for a move on Syme. They're catching Colin. Brad makes a move. Into P2 goes Brad. 50 Gent takes the lead of the Pro-Am but runs wide. And Levi's going to take it back, is he? They crash in contact and Levi's out of the race. Levi's out of the race. Brad Mason takes the lead. Levi's out. Brad takes the lead. Colin, Syme, Mr. Pickle, all right there. 50 Gent now leads the Pro-Am, but that one will end up in the steward's room. Wide goes Colin. Syme's going to go for it. They've both got DRS. Syme couldn't get up the inside. Brad's getting away to win here. Easy Life. Smug Senna all scrapping still. Brad Mason up to the last corner. Senna picks up a costly time penalty. Senna's round. Brad Mason wins. Colin comes across in second from Syme, then Mr. Pickle. 50 Gent and Skippy take fourth and fifth from Mr. Pickle, whose penalties have really cost him. Swanton manages to get up to P6. What a salvation job from him. He needed a few more laps for it to stop raining properly. Miller Vanilla in seventh. And I've lost count of everybody else. Just bear with me. Wow. Wow. What a race. What a race that was. Brad Mason from pole position to the back of the field, back to the front again, wins. And what a night for Haas. A double podium for them. Colin fought hard and finished P2 for Alpha Tauri. Great points for them to continue in the Constructors' Championship. Syme finished third but didn't gain as much as you'd think on Swanton, who finished sixth in the end. 50 Gent is your Pro-Am winner, but he might get that taken away in the stewards' room. Levi crashing out on the last lap. Skippy, P2 in the Pro-Am. He might also have a steward to answer to after the Al Newt collision. He finishes P5. A great drive from him. Swanton in 6th. Miller Vanilla, see what I said about him? When he doesn't have a good race, he still ends up on the podium in the Pro-Am. He finished 7th. Then Mr. Pickle, Easy Life and Smug round off the top 10 from Sainsey, Sloth, Senna, Levi, who DNF'd on the last lap, and the other DNFs were Al Newt, King Kong, Ronnie, Joker and Ninjas. And breathe, folks. What a race that was. And join us again on Thursday from 8 PM where we do it all again in DRS Extreme. And I wonder if the rain is going to play such a part in that one. Until then, we've got 20 minutes or so until Blobby and Baker's Monday night goes to Qatar. So see you then in about 20 minutes time. See you back Thursday at 8 PM on DRS UK, Dynamic Racing League UK, as well as here, Blobby_Butler. Thank you for watching. This has been DRS. What a race.